Hernandez? Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. This is my first time ever publishing a private video, and so hopefully it works out, but we're gonna hop straight into a tutorial for how to make my Poseidon's themed vault cell, you could say. Not the greatest thing ever designed, but something you could easily build in just a little bit of time, which is actually a lot more secure than I originally anticipated. Now, the way you're gonna slot this Poseidon's vault type cell into a general prison is using, of course, a kill check, because it's actually very easy to escape if you have items. Of course, I have tons of other designs for kill checks on my own, and you can even do something where you rely on trust for the player to clear their items. But the basic idea, if you're looking for something very simple, is to have the player set their spawn on a bed in this position here. And on Bedrock Edition, as soon as that spawn plot is obstructed, say with a piston like so, they are going to spawn on the highest vertical block from where our spawn point originally was. For example, if I was to unflick this lever, my spawn spot is currently this position here, but because it's been obstructed by this piston head in this position here, as soon as I die, I will actually spawn directly in the midst of this prison. It's a very confined space, and yet it is actually insanely good at trapping the player inside. Now, the materials list, of course, is going to vary immensely based on how much obsidian you're going to use. However, if I can locate my shulker box that I placed down, the basic redstone materials are all the same. We have 2 pistons, sea lanterns, all of those different things that you can copy down, and basically an infinite amount of obsidian. So after grabbing all of these things from inside of here, what you're going to start is by building the base, but if you're looking for just the cell, we're going to crack into it right now. So start by placing a soul sand block just like so, and then add a placeholder block here, 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 and here, and then you're going to want to build up 5 blocks. 1, 2, whoops, why is it glitching itself? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then pour some water down the center, or if you're in more modern version, just fill it up with some kelp or with water buckets, and now you're going to have a bubble column that is so far away that the player physically cannot break the soul sand down below. Next, we're going to want to build up some additional defenses. What I like to do is add just a whole bunch of obsidian. In theory, you'd want to add a giant block of it and add some elder guardians all around, but I assume you already know to do all of these things. You're just looking for the redstone, and I perfectly understand that. So after adding some obsidian in all of these positions here, what we're going to do is add yet another layer so that the prisoner can bob up and down. Now, it is very, very important that you leave 2 spaces. For example, if I was to place a block right here, the prisoner would be trapped in a 1x1 space and they would not be moving. It is essential that you add a 2-block space and then a sea lantern on top. For example, if I demonstrate this by walking inside, I can now bob up and down. That's because we have a 2-block space here and here. Hopefully that is making sense. Now, we want to actually move the sea lantern back and forth. And the reason why we want to move it back and forth is because while the player's camera is constantly moving up and down in the water column, they can always focus on the top block. And that's why we need to actually move these sea lanterns back and forth. So start by placing a pair of pistons there, and then another piston set over here. And that's going to allow for a back and forth motion. Next thing we're going to want to do is add a redstone torch on the side of this piston, and then a redstone repeater coming out of it. And then once we're finished with that, we're going to want to place a piece of obsidian down here and a piece of redstone up here with a block up top there. You can set this delay to absolutely whatever you want. I prefer to make it nice and slow just to make it a little bit more reliable, just because of how long it takes if you were going to have mining fatigue. If you don't have mining fatigue, I would suggest setting it to something around 2 or 3. Now, once we have that in that position, we are going to want to build up some blocks in these positions here and add some redstone here. This will actually create a back and forth motion once we add a redstone torch in this position here. As you can see, those blocks are transferring back and forth really quite quickly, and now is an excellent time to go up and add some more obsidian. Literally, you can never have enough obsidian in order to secure the player inside. And if I was to teleport myself down a few blocks into the cell, let's do 4 blocks. Whoops, no, I want to do, 8 blocks down. we can find ourselves, hopefully, inside of the midst of this vault. As you can see, if we were to set ourselves into game mode survival, it is physically impossible for us to break this sea lantern up top here, and it is, again, physically impossible to break everything around here. Not only the fact that we have water here making this actually entirely chorus-proof, it is generally something that is just so cheap. You know, I was really tired of seeing all of these guys vault and things. Although they're very cool, they're just impossible to build in survival. So I really want to make something that can be built in survival. Hopefully this helps out a ton. I had a lot of schoolwork to finish up, so I couldn't get it to you, as fast as I usually would. But yeah, hopefully you're subscribed, of course, and I wish you a marvelous rest of your day.